Today on Suncoast View, could a new Florida drug law save lives without ruining others? We'll discuss how to help our growing overdose issues.
And how about a spot of afternoon tea? That's a terrible accent. Well, Chef Larry Barrett throws an authentic royal tea party that's better than my accent, and he'll teach us how to properly behave.
And a daring play at the Urbanite Theater plunges audience into darkness to find the light at the end of the tunnel. All that and more right now on Suncoast View.
Welcome to the show. We're laughing about Joey's Midwestern, Northeastern background coming out in his British accent.
We'll work on it, Joey.
It's any accent. Yes, it's all accents rolled into one.
That's all right. Welcome to Brendan Reagan from Urbanite Theater. Just
Thank
as
you.
Take a sip
Yes, no, I'm
of your
ready.
tea.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I bet you could do a British accent because you're an actor.
Yeah, just don't ask
so
me
are
to do
you,
one right
John.
now.
He's the real deal. He's the real deal.
No, I've seen Joey. He's talented. Don't try to hide behind it. You are in shows all the time, and so Joey's just as much of an actor.
Just perhaps not My Fair Lady or
Yeah,
anything like that.
You learned a valuable lesson this morning, which is when you're not prepared to do a dialect or an accent, maybe don't do it.
Because it's not something you want to do on the fly.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a lesson we all need to learn, because on the fly is how we roll on this show, but that is okay. I want to give you some accolades and some attention for a great award that you have won that everybody should know about. You and your business partner, Summer. Tell us about the award, the SRQ Magazine Localpreneurs of the Year.
Yeah, it was a real surprise to us. Over 100 local businesses, both for-profit and nonprofit, were nominated. And we were shocked when they announced that we were some of the winners. And really, they said that it was an award that they gave to businesses that run their companies with purpose and passion, and that made a lot of sense with Urbanite. It's something obviously we're wild about. And anytime you're a nonprofit and you win an award for business, I think it says that someone is looking at your mission as a critical piece of the community. So we were thrilled to win.
It means you're doing the right thing.
I think so, yeah.
And not to dish on you, but Joey did have a funny little aside that you learned a little lesson at the award ceremony. Can you share that with us?
I did. So to prove that we were fully shocked that we won, I just had the wrong outfit on entirely. I was not dressed for success or to be on stage in front of people or to have my photo taken. I thought you were just going to go to this thing and I was going to slip out the back door apparently and yeah, so the lesson is always suit up. Suits every day from now on.
Suit up even, you know what, you always look lovely, but I understand it at a ceremony like that, you've probably figured.
I went casual. It was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Maybe that's good luck. For any award you get nominated in the future, you should dress like you don't want your picture taken.
Don't prepare a speech and dress like you're, exactly. You don't expect your photo to be taken.
Oh, well, it's all right. The award is still yours.
Thank you.
Regardless. And Linda, you have some photos to share from the weekend. Tell us about the Circus Gala.
Oh, it was so much fun. The theme was Winter Wonderland. So that's why all the sparkles and the white. There, of course, is Dickie Smothers and a handsome young man from Sailor Circus and Dickie's beautiful lady guest.
Yes, Marie Kropp with the tiara. You all looked fabulous. It's like you knew you were going to get your pictures taken.
Well, we knew we had to be sparkly and white for the Winter Wonderland. So I've been all over this town looking for sparkles.
I have to admit, I was on the phone hearing some of those conversations with you. It was very, very funny.
Yes. Do you have anything that's all sequined?
You were asking for white sequin pants. That was very funny. John Scalzi and Linda Larson there, of course, and Jennifer Mitchell. And nice to see Dolly and Pedro.
She looks lovely.
Stunning as always.
John was the MC.
Oh, wonderful.
And he was host of the auction, he and Bello. So they were bringing in big-time money.
Oh, good.
I bet that was a lot of fun to watch John and Bello together because they're both so quick on their feet and witty.
You know, they have a lot in common.
We'll have to ask John if his hair stands up that high, though.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe he'll come on at noon with the hair up.
Well, with the gala, that must mean that the big top is about to open in a couple weeks. It's almost circus time.
And it's so beautiful in there. Oh, it is. I can't wait to see the bleachers go up. And the last act, I'm sure they're going to be in the act of Circus Sarasota. Stunning, unbelievable, world class.
You got a preview.
Yes.
Good. Off the top of my head, I believe that is February 8th, so I know we're about a week and a half away.
We'll be having them on the show this month.
Good.
How lucky are we to have them in our community? It's something so easy that I think we could take for granted, but it is a unique part of our cultural landscape here, and I love it every year. So if you haven't seen the circus yet, it's special. It's really great.
Yes. Yes, they know people all over the world, the best performers.
Yeah.
And this is the hometown for circus, so they all want to come here.
Fascinating. All right, something to look forward to coming up next week. And coming up right now, we're going to head to the kitchen where we welcome back Paulette from Spice and Tea Exchange. What are we making today?
We're going to do some really nice, easy, fun dishes for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
So we're going to spice it up a bit. We're going to use our harissa seasoning with some shrimp, a cauliflower dish that has garbanzo beans and tomatoes. And then we have a little treat with some donuts and different sugars.
Ooh, I like that idea.
Yes.
All
and
right.
your drink today is a hibiscus fiery kiss. So we added some cinnamon and ginger sugar. We infused the hibiscus flower and then added a touch of cinnamon whiskey.
Wow, a fiery kiss. I like this. We are getting ready for Valentine's Day. I think that is just something that's going to have just
kiss.
a little
fiery
sample.
I haven't had one of those in a long time.
I was waiting for that, and I'm so glad it occurred. Paulette, wonderful. And what a good idea to give some at-home Valentine's ideas. Number one, it's a hard night to go out because it's on Wednesday this year. And that is definitely kind of staring me in the face. You know there'll be crowds. I know a lot of the restaurants extending their specials through the weekend, either before or after, because
So you can come on another night if you need
Wednesday's
to.
a hard night. I mean, it's one thing to be tired on one day of the week, but you've still got a whole half a week to go through there. So something to keep in mind. Also coming up, February's getting busy. All right, it is time for our first hot topic. And a St. Pete lawmaker wants you to report more drug or alcohol overdoses so officials can save more lives. Studies show that when someone in America overdoses, a call for help occurs less than 50% of the time. The primary reason that call is not made is often due to fear of arrest or police involvement. There is already a Good Samaritan drug law in place that prevents drug charges if you're reporting things. But lawmakers want to expand to protect against even arrests. Those on parole or in public housing would lose their privileges if there's such thing as an arrest. And those are reasons that overdoses don't get reported and people die. This makes a lot of sense to me because you got to figure if you're with a friend and your friend ODs, the odds of you doing something wrong with that friend are probably pretty high.
Right.
So you're not calling the police so you don't get busted and then your friend dies.
Yes, yes, we've got to make that so you dare to call for help.
Yes.
It'll save so many lives, and it's so crazy to let those people die.
And it sounds like they're trying to make every effort to say, there's a Good Samaritan law here. Save your friend's life and don't worry about yourself getting in trouble.
Right.
And people still 50% of the time are skipping out.
Because I'm not sure they're convinced. I mean, there's still the fear. I mean, you are doing something wrong. It is an illegal drug. You still probably don't want to interact with the police.
It feels weird calling 911 when you've
done
been
something
doing drugs
wrong.
all
You
day.
know you're guilty, yes.
And that's just looking at a case where you certainly can see that someone is overdosing. They may be on the fence. You might not know. Maybe someone just passed out and you aren't sure. So any kind of uncertainty that keeps you from getting help is we need to erase. And I guess maybe the opponents would say you don't want to reward people, or if
That's not a reward.
I
That's
agree.
not a reward.
I agree. I hope that this doesn't get any pushback because.
And we're kind of waiting to see. I did the research this morning, and it looks like it's going to get to the Senate floor with no problem. But they have not heard any response yet from the sheriff's associations, the police association. I don't know if law enforcement, they're going to be comfortable with, we're going to look the other way. But it comes into play a lot with the college issues, too.
Yeah.
Because when the college kids drink too much, this isn't just street drugs. The other college kids who were with them have drank too much, too, often underage. So, that's what happened in some of those fraternity houses.
Yes,
they didn't call the police because they were in as much trouble.
Until it was way too late.
way
Right.
too
We've
late.
learned
Yeah.
that
Yes.
responding in a timely fashion can be the difference between saving a life and not. So.
And we owe it to them to
Absolutely.
do that.
Anything that can save the lives at this point. So
Yes.
we'll hear more discussion about that as it works its way through the legislature. So a Sarasota office building is tops in the country for helpful shared office space. Inc. magazine rates the best co-working spots in the U.S. Hub Sarasota makes the list. The Hub is shared office space for a number of different businesses, and it helps entrepreneurs and startups avoid the expense of things like a long-term lease or a large building commitment. It's a creative atmosphere. Inc. says it leads to networking, education, and collaboration. And Joey, I know you had an office there once, and you speak very highly of that whole experience.
Yes, I came from the Hub, and it's wonderful to see, yes, people could work out of their own home offices and still save money and not have the overhead, but you lose the ability to collaborate. And sometimes it's a matter of having a graphic designer or a video production person or a marketing person right next door or at a table shared with you to make you realize, oh, video, I need that for my client, and you're right there. So it's nice. Sometimes when you work at home, you suffer from being in a silo.
I don't get anything done. I need other people and other energy around me. It would be nice to have an office, but just to see everybody else working and focusing and creating, that would really drive me.
And client-wise, too, I would think it's helpful to have a professional space to bring people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. So you're not bringing them home to your home office and trying to hide the dog away for meetings.
Or Starbucks. Keep order coffee.
There's a group in Sarasota right now advocating for a space called Art Space, which would be a place you could live and work as an artist. And you know, myself and some other artists were getting together and talking about why it would be a good idea. And this was one of the main reasons. It was because artists really don't have this collaborative space. We don't get together and see each other's work and be inspired and see someone else working really hard, burning the midnight oil, and you know, sort of taking that inspiration to get better. And I think it would be great to get, you know, more creatives in the same room and see what kind of work comes out of it. So shared office space, I think, is a wonderful way to get a little kick in the pants sometimes by your, you know, either competitors or other businesses that are in the area.
And we've talked about Art Space, and we're big fans because that gives you a place to practice together, to work together as ensembles. You know, it's
and hopefully share skills too.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's also showing a building and money that puts, you know, what does it, put your money where your mouth is. It says, yes, Sarasota and the Suncoast, we support our artists, but by having a building or having a space they can go to, that actually shows that you support them. So,
well, Village of the Arts has done great, and the artists live there.
Same concept. Yep. All right, we'll see if we can keep it going. So as high-profile sexual harassment claims continue to add up, it seems like there's a new one every week. We wanted to see who has started to worry that something they have said might be taken the wrong way, while millennial men said they are well aware. A survey from MTV says that 1 in 3 men ages 18 to 25 are worried that something they've said or done could be read as sexual harassment. And 40% of young men say they have now changed how they act in potential romantic partnerships as a result of the Me Too movement. Do we need to consciously teach young men how to avoid those accusatory situations?
Yes, yes. I think we haven't had the rules in the past. Because when I was a teenager, it was the girl always said, no, 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 no. But the guy knew that didn't really mean no, or he was confused about whether it meant no. Now we say no and we mean no. So I think we make those rules more definite as young men are growing up. But you know what? I worry about it. Because sometimes I would say, jokingly, oh, what are you doing tonight? And I can see like a 19, 20-year-old guy saying, oh my goodness, she's hitting on me. Hey, I'm old enough to be their great-grandmother. So I think it's a joke, but they might get insulted.
I joke with people a lot. It's part of my nature. It's always been, and I'm also a hugger. And I hug people in professional environments too. If someone comes into the station or they're going to be on the show or wherever. And I've thought about that. You know, as I go in sometimes I'm like, oh, is that going to be well received? I think this might be a case where it's the people that are worried about it are typically probably not the people that should worry or are the offenders.
Yes,
but I also think that the way that the pendulum had swung, it has to go back the other ways. We're going to overcorrect a little and hopefully find a common area. But if the other person's not laughing, then they're not in on the joke. I think that's what I keep trying to tell myself.
Our corporate president came down once, and he made an announcement, and I threw my arms around him, and then I thought, this man is as stiff as a board. He is not like this. But it's really hard to unwrap then.
And then act like it never happened.
Yes.
And I think if men are saying that they're thinking about it all the time, that's the first sign of progress.
Yes,
good point.
So if they're changing their behavior, and like Joey said, if they're the ones that maybe didn't need to change a whole lot of their behavior in the first place, the conversation has begun, and those men will speak to other men, and it's not going to change overnight, I don't think, but it's a good first step, I think, for young men to be self-aware.
And a life lesson for all of us. Think before you speak. Is it really funny or is it hurtful? Lesson we're all working on. And think before you act.
And look where your hands
and
are.
You have
be careful.
Exactly. And you have to be receptive. When someone
table.
does come to you and say, hey, I wasn't comfortable that you did that, I know that I have to be receptive to hear it, and that is part of the conversation. So it isn't just correcting my behavior, you know, behind a closed door. It's also letting them tell me and hearing it and
Well, a good behavior story, and it's a touching one, from Walt Disney World. A T-shirt ended up saving a dad's life. This New Jersey father, a father of 5, decided to wear this shirt every day during his Walt Disney World summer vacation. It says, "In need of kidney," listed his blood type and his phone number. So the shirt itself made it onto social media this summer. Then the calls came pouring in with random people wanting to help. Well, fast forward to last week. He just had his life-saving kidney transplant from a donor pool match. It was a random stranger from Indiana. The donor said he just saw a father who needed a helping hand. I love that story. And what a great marketing idea to wear your shirt to Walt Disney World. The guy isn't advertising. So he kind of thought, you know what? I need to be a billboard, and I got a lot of eyeballs at Walt Disney World. And of course, these things these days all get put on Twitter and Instagram.
The best use of a T-shirt, of any slogan on a T-shirt ever. That was awesome.
Yeah, it literally saved his life.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what a wonderful person to give a kidney to a stranger.
That's true, yeah.
That's an angel.
It is. It is an angel. And they're out there because he said his heart was warmed by how many responses there were of people wanting to check to see if they were a donor match. So.
Yeah, and you'll see these stories all the time about, I remember one, I think it was a man almost in his 70s who decided to run across the country to find an organ donor for his wife, and he was wearing the shirt all the time, and it worked out for him as well too. As soon as they go viral, the altruistic people seem to rise to the occasion. They are out there.
There is good out there. Okay, we're going to check in with our happy hour forecast, and when we come back, we're going to learn more about Urbanite Theater's latest show.
Good afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with your happy hour forecast and your first alert weather forecast. Calling for chilly conditions tonight. Temperatures now in the low 60s. A strong north to northwest wind at 17, making it feel cooler out there. Lows overnight will be into the upper 40s to low 50s. The pressure 2997, and the winds, they continue to blow strong out of the northwest at 15 to 20, 22 now in Anna Maria Island, and down south into Sarasota County. We have Minnesota Beach at 17, and War Mineral Springs the same as Northport now at 13 miles an hour. Those winds will stay up, so it'll make it feel a bit colder tonight too. As far as the cloud cover goes, we've had some low clouds and some fog throughout the day. That fog, though, will stick around. Looks like, or at least break up a little bit here in the next couple of hours, but it'll stick around for the next couple of hours down south Sarasota County. The forecast through this evening, temperatures into the upper 50s, but as I said, low temperatures will be dropping down into the low 50s, even some upper 40s. More in your forecast coming up at 5. See you then.
Out of disaster and trauma often comes some of the most powerful human connections. Urbanite Theater's newest show explores the interaction following a deadly accident. Director Summer Dawn Wallace and actor Christopher Noel Onken are here to tell us more about North Side Hollow. Well, this sounds intense.
Just a little bit.
Nothing light Urbanite topic.
Just a little bit.
Tell us the storyline.
Yeah, so we the play opens. We meet our two characters, Gene and Marshall. Gene is a coal miner stuck at the bottom of this coal mine, and Christopher plays Marshall, who is sent in to rescue him. And over the course of the play, we meet two characters that wouldn't normally meet outside of this situation. They have very different viewpoints on the world, and because they're stuck at the bottom of a coal mine, they really get to learn about each other, empathize with that's not the right word. Yeah. Empathy with each other. There it is. Thank you. Yeah. There it is. Find it. And so they learn about each other in that way. And then Gene is facing his own mortality. So he's reflecting on his life, the choices that maybe he shouldn't have made, or what if he had done this? What if I had done that? And so through this journey, they explore that together.
Christopher, that must be terrifying down there in that darkness.
It certainly has its moments, but it's it's a very enjoyable, I think, warm show at times. I think there's a lot of humor to it. There's something really beautiful about watching two people have conversation on stage. I think that's interesting and exciting.
So the show is all done down in the tunnel?
Correct,
What's that like to, I mean, have you ever been down a tunnel? Most of us hadn't. Like
I actually did go spelunking once on a trip out in Tennessee, so I have a little bit of like memory.
Well, your theater's so intimate too, so a story like that seems like your space would lend itself to feeling like you are that close.
We've made the space into a coal mine, and as actors, we're always wanting to do everything to immerse ourselves into a story. But this one, we've done it for the actors, and we've done it for the audience as well. So they walk through the coal mine.
Oh, that's cool.
I love that. So why did you choose this play?
This play came to us, we were looking for one more show in our season, and what really appealed to us is it's two very different characters that we're meeting from, you know, they have different reflections on the world, and that really spoke to us as a piece, and it's an actor-driven, character-driven piece of theater, and we'd never done anything where we've done such an environmental overhaul on the space, and so we thought this was missing. We haven't done this yet.
Oh, this is, now you have headlights so you can see down there?
Yes, ma'am, we do. Both the actors on stage do, and then there are a handful of audience members that do as well.
Oh,
that adds to the experience of.
And is that to literally add the light for you?
Without them, it would be much darker.
Wow. Interesting. Now, do they know that when they choose their seats or they pick their tickets?
Yes.
You will be asked to wear a headlamp?
Yes, we do look for 5 volunteers, but people are really excited about it because they do help light the show.
Oh, yes.
And as an audience member, we're experiencing, you know, if they are looking at this character versus that character, we're following that story with them. Similarly, if you were in the bottom of a coal mine, how you would experience what was happening to you.
This is one play you won't go into and just zone out.
No.
I've done that before. This time you're going to pay attention.
You are going to pay attention.
It's nice because, you know, you don't do shows like Oklahoma at Urbanite, which is fine because there are other theaters in the area that do, but everything that you do is so unique and thoughtful. What are the audiences thinking about this show?
The response so far, everybody has been leaving really thinking and like, wow, and I've never experienced something like this before. Because not only are we taking them on this journey with the characters, but the space is so interactive and it's a different kind of viewing environment. And so I'm really excited over the course of the run to see how the audiences respond.
And there's a lot of mystery in this show too. And so what we've been hearing a couple of times from audience members is they say about 12 or 24 hours later, the impact is really sinking in on me, on what the spirituality of the show does, because it's more than just, you know, 2 guys sitting around in the dirt and talking. There's a greater impact on it, and so it's one of those slow burns that sticks with you.
Oh yes. Oh, this sounds like a must-see. Northside Hollow is going to be at the Urbanite Theater through March 11th. Wow! And next we're going to see Suncoast most popular events. You're going to love this one.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Hi, I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. The Bradenton Police Department is hosting their latest community squad meetings.
We'll tell you where you can talk to officers one-on-one and voice your concerns all tomorrow on Good Morning Suncoast. John?
We're looking at a weather map picture that shows a big blue H in the center. That's high pressure and it's cold and it'll bring us some chilly nights. We'll talk about it.
Tomorrow at 5 on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast. We're here for you.
Our nation's servicemen and women show great courage and leadership both on and off the battlefield. When they transition to civilian life, they can apply the skills and values they learned in the military to the workplace. That's why the Coalition to Salute America's Heroes is urging employers everywhere to be smart, bet on a vet. Hiring a veteran is also a great way to show your appreciation for them. To learn more, call 1-888-44-SALUTE.
For more than 100 years, American Humane Association has been teaching kids to be kind to animals. Those in our homes, on the farms, on the silver screen, and wildlife conservation, caring for the world's vanishing creatures. But we can't do it alone. Visit kindness100.org to find ways to teach kids how they can make a more caring, compassionate, and humane world for all of us.
I just need a second.
Is your weight holding you back and affecting your health?
Did you see this? Your cousin had a heart attack.
Really?
Excess weight or obesity can be serious, but you can do something about it. Visit yourweightmatters.org. Download the free toolkit to prepare you to speak with a healthcare provider. Your weight does matter. Accept the challenge and take charge today. Visit yourweightmatters.org.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
The annual Forks and Corks Grand Tasting is truly a feast for the senses. It includes food from more than 50 of our area's top chefs and wines from 80 international wineries. But this year it also featured an amazing display of community support as rainy weather forced a last-minute relocation indoors to Feld Entertainment, and dozens worked tirelessly to make it seamless. We took a field trip to check it out.
I'm born in the vineyards because my family has been producing champagne for 7 generations. In our region, it's really the local wine, and we drink it all the time. It's quite easy to digest, so it's really a wine that you can drink anytime. And we have a line of 9 different champagnes, and they are very different, each of them.
Babylonstern is one of the oldest farms in South Africa. It's really up there with all the other wine countries in the world, but I think what makes it so nice is, like, for instance, in the United States, you really get good quality wines at affordable prices. I mean, it really compares to any Californian wine or a French wine, but price-wise, I think it's just so much. I mean, you really get good quality for affordable prices. I mean, I started making these wines from the beginning. So for me to think that, like, in a place like Sarasota, I mean, if you think about the United States in general, everybody wants to be in New York or like the big, but like, I've never thought that Sarasota, my wines will be here. And ever since our wines have been in this market, Sarasota has just been good to us. And I think there's a really good sort of like wine culture here, and people enjoy it. And the way that I'm received from South Africa is really good. I love it.
Amazing event, and I think the one thing we kept hearing over and over was how so many people came together to make that venue move within 48 hours time. I mean, can you imagine all that went into that in those hours?
What was it, over 1,500 attendees?
Yep.
And yeah, and to make that call a few days ahead. And I know, Linda, you said on Friday that you kind of hoped that it rained just so that it would justify the move. And it did.
And it did rain.
In the afternoon.
Yes. Well, Stephanie and I figured out that it started to rain like an hour into the event. Could you imagine everybody outside and suddenly it poured?
Right, by the end of it, it rained very hard. So it was a good choice, and I think it was nice to hear everyone speak so highly of all the different organizations involved, not just Sarasota Manatee Originals, who of course we know and love, but everybody that came together to just make it a great event. Feld for being a good community partner, and just a chance to showcase how wonderful the food and wine, both in our area and our appreciation of it worldwide is.
We're recognized as a food and wine destination.
Are we foodies?
Yes.
We seem to be
I think
foodies or winos.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which
Our show does help contribute to that, of course.
Yes, we are. Well, we are warning you now, this is one of the most popular Suncoast events. We are not kidding when we say these tickets sell out in minutes every November when they are released. So don't miss 2019. To find out on it, keep tabs on all the other great events throughout the year. The Sarasota Manatee Original website is eatlikealocal.com. Tons of events all year long, and they'll help you get tickets next year. Coming up, we're going to find out how to properly take our afternoon tea.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Join ABC7 at the all-new 2018 edition of Circus Sarasota. Ovation under the big top at Nathan Benderson Park behind the mall at UTC. Friday, February 9th through Sunday, March 4th. All opening weekend tickets are 20% off, courtesy of ABC7. To purchase your discount tickets, visit circusarts.org. The Circus Sarasota box office at the big top, or call 941-355-9805.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to Suncoast View. We're going to check back in with Paulette from the Spice and Tea Exchange on St. Armand's Circle. And it's such a great shop to stop in. I understand you have something new in store.
We do. Just in time for Valentine's Day, we have a whole new candle line. So these candles are 100% soy, and they're mixed with our most popular blends or teas.
Oh.
This is a Pirate's Bite, and it has spicy, warm, really nice aromas, flavors. They smell wonderful. And this one is with our ginger turmeric tea. So it gives a little bit of the spice, but the calming with the turmeric. They're very nice.
Well, the store smells amazing, and now we can have it at home as well. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. Joey?
Royal afternoon tea service is a great British tradition, but it does involve a lot of etiquette rules, and that can be intimidating, especially for some of us commoners. Chef Larry Barrett from Simply Gourmet Catering is here to teach us how to take our tea properly. All right, Larry, so we are all set. Our pinkies are stretched and ready to be put up. All right, so let's start with the tradition of afternoon tea. How did it start?
It started with a hungry Duchess, Anna. And, you know, lunch was served at 12 or 1 o'clock, dinner, 9 o'clock.
Oh,
and she got, you know, famished. Oh. And, you know, by 4 o'clock, she was starving.
That makes sense.
So she'd tell the servants, hey, bring me up a little bit of bread and butter, maybe a little pastry, and a cup of tea. Then she was having such a good time all by herself, she invited her friends. And that's how tea started.
Everyone else was probably hungry and thought, this is a great idea.
I think she originated the word hangry. I think, really.
Well, and then now did Queen Victoria then adopt it and offer it to the masses?
A couple of years later, Queen Victoria started having these massive teas, inviting 5,000 people for 3 different teas. Isn't that crazy? 27,000 cups of tea, 20,000 pieces of cake, 20,000 finger sandwiches. I hate to see the catering bill on the deal, but you know, but it was really crazy. I mean, isn't it great? But the great thing about it was she just didn't only invite the upper crust. She also invited the typical mountain street, as it were. You know, so she was having a great time. Everybody got to meet. They mingle on the grounds of Buckingham Palace. And the rest is history. They still do it to this day.
It seems like such a great part of British culture. You know, in America, we say, let's go get coffee. We'll talk over coffee.
Right.
But having tea is truly a place, you know, where things are discussed.
Oh,
and
it's
people
fascinating.
Connect.
You know, Jamie and I, we have sometimes get a real hectic life. And, you know, for a while, when we first started doing the teas, we said, 4 o'clock, let's stop for 15 minutes and have ourselves a cup.
Oh,
and you know what?
Good.
It was so nice. And so the deal was, do not talk about business during that 15 minutes.
Oh, that's probably one of the rules, right?
That is the rule.
I know that there are some
Right.
rules about having proper tea. So let's start. Let's start with making a perfect cup. So you have some tricks. How do you get the perfect cup and flavor?
Well, each tea has its own personality, but the most important thing is you bring your water to a boil, and I like using a filtered water. Bring it to a boil, put in your tea, and turn the heat off. Let it steep. Like I said, each one has its own personality, so some might have to steep a little longer, just depending on what you like. But the deal is never bring it back to a boil again. It takes the oxygen out of the water, and that oxygen is what really adds a lot of nuance to the tea.
Okay, so if people think maybe if they've had bitter tea, it might be that they didn't make it proper.
They probably didn't make it properly. They let it steep too long, or they had that water boiling and the teas rolling, yeah.
So I'll see some people leave the bag in the whole time they're drinking the tea. You recommend taking it out at the perfect time?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah,
I think
you
so.
gotta get it out of there.
I think so. That's what I would do.
But you have an interesting.
You don't really use bags, do you?
No.
If you're using,
You should use a loose tea. The loose tea is the best tea because tea bag tea is inferior. They call it, I forgot the name right now, but it's a Ceylon brand. The leaf is much bigger, and the bigger leaf means better brew, better tea. The other is sort of like the shaky from the leaf. And that's it, you know. It's called Pico.
Oh,
Pico.
Now you have an interesting theory about the shape of a standard teacup.
Oh, I love that. I love the fact you like that. You know, you only have 15 minutes for tea time. So if you had a teacup that was more like a mug, it tends to keep things too warm. I think the width of the teacup is so that the tea can cool off a little bit more quickly, and you can get through it and maybe even have yourself a second cup.
Yes, all right, now I know one thing you never want to do is reach for or serve cream, correct?
That's right. Cream, I gotta say, cream, even in cooking, it coats the inside of your mouth and deadens your taste buds.
I didn't
So
know.
if somebody makes a sauce out of all cream, and they don't put a little milk in there and thicken it with a little roux, you end up deadening the flavors. And that,
and your reputation.
What a faux pas. What a faux pas.
Do we add anything to the tea?
Yes, always milk. Always milk.
Oh,
and
milk is
always
okay.
serve scones with strawberry preserve.
Yes. So let's get to what you would serve with tea. So you've brought us a selection.
Right.
Does it matter what order you serve any
Yes,
snacks?
what's of the utmost importance. Oh, my dear. We always start.
I know. I'm showing my colors.
we always start with the savories. And the savories are usually a mixture of sandwiches. I make a little vegetable roulade or a turkey roulade to go along with it, just because it looks a little prettier and adds a little life to it.
And all finger food?
All finger food.
We don't ever want to get out utensils.
No, you don't really have to. And then we go to, what I like to go to after that is scones. I look at scones as the midway between the savory and the sweet. My scones are more like a biscuit. They're slightly sweet, but biscuity, not cakey. And then you go to your sweets, and all hell breaks loose.
Now, you and your wife Jamie, you mentioned Jamie, you know a lot about this because you have been offering this every year at the Powell Crosley Estate. Tell us about your tea service.
Well, it's really taken off. We've been having a lot of fun doing it. I think this is our 10th year, and we've been sold out for the last 8.
Wow.
And the great thing about it is, usually whenever we do weddings there, because we do a lot of weddings at the Crosley, we're always downstairs, and it's a little dimmer down there. We moved everything upstairs, and I believe we're the first caterers to do that. This way you have a beautiful view of the bay, and more intimate. You're in the living quarters.
Yes, it's very popular on the
Great.
Suncoast, and now we know everything that we need to know in order to try to go. If you would like to know more about the Royal English Tea Service, you can check out, it will be select Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons in February and March at the Powell Crosley Estate. And for more information, you can go to Larry's website, simplygourmetcaterers.com. Next, it is time for Suncoast for Sale.
Enjoy.
Yes, yes.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
All right, crew, let's get started. All right.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC7 News Update.
Good afternoon, I'm Jacqueline Matter. Here's what we're working on for 5 o'clock. Ringling College of Art and Design receiving a $15 million donation today. What the school plans to do with that generous contribution. And tax season has officially begun. Why tax professionals are encouraging people to file electronically. Now let's get a check on our first alert weather forecast with Bob.
Good afternoon, everyone. Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan here. Winds out of the north-northwest at 10 to 15, even 20 miles an hour out on the water as we have a small craft advisory in effect until Tuesday afternoon. On top of that, a rip current advisory is in effect for coastal waters, meaning rip currents are possible. I don't know many people swimming out there, but some of the surfers may be doing so. And again, that's in effect through tonight and tomorrow morning. Goes satellite imagery showing the clouds coming down, low clouds, some fog around. Again, that frontal boundary just to the north of Gainesville. We'll have more on our forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Check out mysuncoast.com/dining, your guide to the foodie lifestyle.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon? You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
This is the peak time of year for the Suncoast real estate market. And Andrew Haddad, one of our favorite realtors in the whole world, is here to tell us what's hot and what's not hot, and to show us some homes that we can only dream about.
That's right.
Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you.
So give us a market overview for this great time of year.
Sure, absolutely. And you know, I get that question a lot. And from the surface, from an eagle's eye standpoint, our market is fantastic. I mean, the market is fascinating. It's always changing. So, I mean, from the surface, I mean, we have 5.2 months of inventory. That is a very healthy, stable market. It puts us in a seller's market. Prices are on the, have gone up since last year substantially. Sales are up 8.5% from this time last year.
Oh, good.
So from the surface, everything looks great. I mean, we're definitely moving strong. What I like about the report we're going to do today is we are going to dive into the different zones of the area because they tell a different story of what's going on, because the luxury market is by no means the same as a different the Keys or a different area in central Sarasota. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into these different areas. And the first one is the luxury market. So again, very healthy. Something that's really big is all those downtown condos, luxuries, all those closed out. Not all of them, but the majority of them closed out. Years of inventory closed out in the first quarter.
Wow.
So there was, so more than double the sales property closings in our luxury market.
Luxury is how much?
Luxury is defined as the top 10% of our market. So in our area, that puts us at 750,000 and above defines our luxury market. Okay. So again, very healthy, yet look, 10.8 months of inventory, a lot more inventory in the market. Next, we're going to go to the Keys. Now we've broken out the Keys. This is Longboat Key and Siesta Key. You're going to see, again, very strong numbers. 215 sales. The months of inventory, a lot less than the luxury market. This tells us that it is a buyer's market at over 8 months of inventory. Again, very healthy price points there. Median price point of 680,000, and again, very strong on the barrier islands we have. Next, we have west of Trail and downtown. Now, this highlights a much different segment of the market that tells a different story. Months of inventory, over 7 months of inventory. Look at our median sales price, almost 900,000. Wow. And again, very strong numbers. What I love about this as well is our average days on the market, or days to sale, just over 100. For that price point, that is a pretty fantastic. I mean, these things are selling downtown and west of the
And
Trail.
they keep building them, and they're still selling.
Yes, 100%.
There's so many.
I'm with you. And then finally, we're actually going to go to another segment. Now, this is Central Sarasota. By far, this makes up the mass majority of the sales. You're going to see almost 1,000 sales just in the fourth quarter alone. Very interesting on this, I wanted to point out, 3.9 months of inventory. That's is
low.
Evidence of the demand for that product, because 25% of our sales are positioned between the $200,000 to $300,000 price point.
Affordability.
So, affordability, absolutely. So that obviously represents the biggest segment. And then finally, we have we separate east of I-75 and Lakewood Ranch. We wrap into that. A lot of new construction, very healthy market. There wasn't a lot of significant changes from the third quarter, so these numbers look very accurate, but 5.6 months of inventory. 6 months is a equilibrium of a supply-demand market. Very healthy market on the east.
So really no problem areas, nothing that stands out as glaring?
You know, again, I would say our biggest issue, something to be known, is the affordability factor.
Yeah.
I mean, really, rents are so high, and then again, for your average, average family of 4 or family of 3 that are making X amount of dollars, how much can they really afford to get into
why those
into
mid-range are so popular.
Absolutely, 100%. And I did bring you a couple houses. I hope you don't mind.
Absolutely. I do like to peek.
Yeah, so we just put this on the market. This is amazing. So this is Shoreland. So this is under $1 million, right on the water. Again, we have 180-degree views of the water. It's a 3-story waterfront home right in Osprey. So this is just south of Blackburn Point. Gorgeous, 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, gorgeous home. Again, and it looks right out into the water. I love the entire 3rd floor is a master suite where you can walk out into the balcony on top of a rooftop deck. So very classic. And again, for the Florida lifestyle, $850,000 for this amazing home. The pool's been resurfaced. New aluminum roof in 2016, newer AC. Again, right on the water.
Great location.
Great location. Absolutely. And again, Linda, I got one more house.
One more.
Bam, multi-million-dollar. This is $4.595 million. This is right here in Sarasota, right on the bay. Again, gorgeous waterfront gated estate. It's situated on a double lot, so you have over 300 feet of frontage, of waterfront frontage, custom infinity pool. Again, you're going to see all the fits and finishes on the inside to what you expect. This is, bringing the outdoors in. The kitchen, granite countertops, luxury,
something
appliances.
to dream
You love it?
about,
I love it.
Andrew.
And this has a separate guest house, 1,200 square feet, so you can stay as a guest.
Yes.
Let us know who buys it. We're
There
going to
you
be
go.
your friends.
Absolutely.
We'll come visit. Well, you can get more information about all these wonderful homes going to sellingthesuncoast.com. Andrew Haddad has awesome houses listed there. You can take a look. Thank you, Andrew, and we'll be right back.
I love taking care of my mom. It wasn't easy at first. She learned how to better communicate her needs.
And you learned how to not ignore yours.
I discovered how to make healthier meals.
And I discovered how much I enjoyed them.
Becoming a caregiver is a learning experience for everyone. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
I'll be right back.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Okay, here's something I struggle to understand. So KFC keeps changing who plays Colonel Sanders. This time, it's a woman. It's Reba McEntire. So Reba hops on stage as the Colonel and starts giving the Colonel some country music flair as part of their ad campaign. I mean, I don't know, I had to call that creepy KFC. And as part of the country music thing she sings, "I am not a woman." Like, okay.
Mixed messages.
Right. Confusing. This may go down as one of the stranger ad campaigns, but when you see it, at least you know what's happening. We can't wait to see what's happening in the kitchen. We're going to go join Paulette from Spice and Tea Exchange.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Choral Artists of Sarasota presents Carmina Burana in Motion. Carl Orff's choral masterpiece, Carmina Burana, bursts into life in this lavish production designed for 60 voices, 3 celebrated soloists, a 2-piano percussion ensemble, and dynamic premiere choreography performed by members of Sarasota Contemporary Dance. Do not miss this lush feast of the senses. Saturday, February 3rd, 4 p.m. at Church of the Palms in Sarasota. Tickets and info are at choralartistsarasota.org or by calling 941-387-4900.
From our studios on Florida's Suncoast, this is an ABC 7 News Update.
Hello, I'm Scott Dennis. Here's what's coming up at the top of the hour. Florida State University's president announcing changes to the school's Greek life today. Now, he says a fraternity member's death has sent a strong message to students. In First Alert traffic, we're seeing a little backup on US 301 in Sarasota, right near Ringling Boulevard in downtown Sarasota. Let's get another check on the weather now with Bob.
Thanks, Scott. Some big changes headed our way. Chilly weather. Temperatures dropping down into the upper 40s to low 50s for overnight lows. Right now at 62. The big story, the strong winds out of the northwest at 17, creating some dangerous boating conditions up and down the coastal waters here along the west coast of Florida. You can see that direct push now from the northwest. We still have the upper level winds blowing from the southwest to the northeast, but a small craft advisory in effect. Also rip currents, real dangerous rip currents in effect across the west coast of Florida. We'll have more coming up at 5.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC 7 News app.
Being the caregiver for my husband is truly a blessing, but sometimes it's easy to lose a part of myself. To be my best, for him and for me, it's important to have time to be able to recharge. When I called Tidewell Hospice, they gave me the chance to do just that. They helped me find the time to care for myself, all the while with the peace of mind of knowing my husband is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 Digital Media Services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 Digital Media Services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
Coming up Tuesday at 4 on Suncoast View, we have a rare opportunity to meet one of the King's caregivers. One of Elvis Presley's private nurses joins us with rare behind-the-scenes details of one of rock and roll's most private people. Society photographer Cliff Rolls is here with Don't Miss February's social events. Plus, we celebrate Black History Month in art. And Goodfellas Pizza joins us in the kitchen.
All right, welcome back. We're here with Chef Paulette from Spice and Tea Exchange. I understand you've got some Valentine's Day ideas for us.
We do. I wanted to show you some really simple ways. You know, it's on a Wednesday night, like Stephanie said, so some easy and simple ways to have a lovely dinner and keep it simple. So
spicy.
And spicy.
And spicy.
And
It's Valentine's
fiery.
Day.
Yeah.
Fiery hot.
So this is already actually cooked shrimp. So we're basically going to season it up and warm it up.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our harissa.
All right, couple
seasoning.
pinches.
We're going to put our harissa in, which has all different kinds of bird's eye peppers. I would put a little bit more, but
She likes it spicy.
I like it spicy.
Harissa is one of your blends?
Yes, that we make in the store.
I love your blends that you have there.
Okay. It's very nice. And then our Italian herb. So you're going to heat it up a little bit, and then we're going to just tame it back. So we're going to balance those flavors together.
Okay.
Okay, and then we're going to do some lemon juice.
Absolutely.
You know, the little trick is to roll the lemon before you cut it.
Right.
Loosen it up.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so now we are just going to put it into a grill pan. You could also put this on skewers and put it on your grill outside if you like.
Oh, that's a good idea.
How long would you cook? Since it's already cooked, how long do you need it?
It's probably like a minute, under 2 minutes. It's really just to warm it up because you certainly don't want to over.
So into the pan?
Into the pan.
Okay.
I love this. Would look like I made it from scratch from the very beginning.
It would. That's the whole point. And to be done, get home from work, and you could be done in 30 minutes.
You're saving relationships around the Suncoast.
See?
Taking notes.
That's my new title. And then over here, we're still going to use some of the same flavors. So we have our cauliflower.
That's right.
Okay, so we're just going to chop that a little bit more. And we're going to add that with some
making a mess.
chunked onions. Okay, so we're going to put those on a lined cookie sheet. We are going to bake these for about 30 minutes. I think that
small
looks
enough?
Yeah, that looks perfect.
Great. All right,
just
Linda.
bite size there.
Okay, you want so we're going to add it all in.
We're going to yep. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And
We've
since
got
we're baking the onions, we don't have to worry about any onion issues with our pirates kissing.
No, no, just that sharp knife,
Stephanie.
Just that sharp knife.
Always thinking about the kissing.
As long as everyone eats the onions, we're good.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, and so now this is our turmeric.
Turmeric,
so,
how much?
I would use about half the bag. Okay, and again, you could season as you like. If you want a little bit less, a little bit more. But all the health benefits that are now being associated with turmeric, you're really just adding some nice, just like our ginger. Yeah, I think that's good.
Okay.
And then here again we have our harissa.
All of this?
Yeah. Our face.
You were starting to tell us.
It's going to be a hot night
tonight. You were starting to
tonight.
tell us what was in the harissa. What is the flavor in there?
So we have crushed red chili peppers, paprika, a little bit of garlic, some pepper. Yeah, it's a very nice blend. And you can, again, use a little or more, depending on how spicy. And now we have some garbanzo beans.
Oh, that's an interesting add.
Yeah, you could also use red kidney beans. Okay. Or white kidney beans.
Right.
Or, I guess, black beans if you
want
it. Yeah. And then we're going to
up.
add some grape tomatoes.
Oh, wow.
Oh. So it's going to bring, again, more flavors, and it's going to just add the dish. It's going to give it yourself a really nice, colorful dish.
Very creative. And you mentioned that you're posting these recipes on our dining page.
They are. They're all on our dining page.
These are all great things that we can easily do at home.
It's one of the things I love about Spice and Tea Exchange is you leave with spices, but you also leave with ideas.
So many ideas. There's so many different things that we can do here. So it's really, really nice. You can make things really simple or quite complicated.
All right.
If you want to go in depth. And then this is going to go into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes.
Oh.
Okay, and it comes out gorgeous colored.
Yes,
We know that you can tell your Valentine's love that you're taking care of them with turmeric, right? And that you like to keep it spicy with some shrimp.
Right.
And
Your fiery.
And we've got a, what did you call this? Some kind of lovely kiss?
That's a hibiscus fiery kiss.
Well, that's our fiery kiss with hibiscus. And then this is an amazing idea for dessert. Tell us about the donuts.
Simple glazed donuts from your local market. Heat them in the microwave for about 30 seconds to a minute, and then you could add, we have maple syrup granules, cinnamon, I have a cinnamon sugar, an apple pie sugar, a raspberry sugar.
So you don't have to take time and bake all that dessert, but you still get a sweet with your sweet.
And you can make it fun.
I love it. All right, we are celebrating Valentine's Day early. You can get all these great ingredients by going to Spice and Tea Exchange on St. Armand's Circle. And of course, those candles, a great gift as well. Brendan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
You found out he has a sweet tooth. Everybody cheers. Take some time. Enjoy the Suncoast view.